Now that we've created our class first period, we'll need to add students to this class. What you'll need to do is select New and then select Student. Once you have selected the new student, it automatically appears with a student whose first name is Student, last name is 1, and the PAD ID number is 1. The student ID number is left blank, as well as the gender, ethnicity, and the economically disadvantaged option. You can type by hand and put in the first name and last name of all of your students if you should choose to, or you can import it through Excel, which is the way I would suggest it, and I have handouts that you can refer to export your students list from Teams and be able to import it into this program so that it's all in there for you. For training purposes, we will enter a very fancy set of names. What I want you to do is click inside the box for student. Once you click inside the box for student, I want you to hit the Enter key. Once you hit the Enter key, you'll see that it adds additional students for you. Of course, the first name stays Student and the last name will change, but what it will change to is whatever the PAD ID number is. It correlates to that. The other icons that are available on the screen under the Prepare tab for classes and students are the Edit button. The Edit button is where you can edit the class information or the contact information. The Delete button allows you to delete a class or a student. The Print button is where you can print a class roster for whatever class you have selected at the time. This may not seem necessary to you because you're thinking, oh, I already have a roster for my students. But the reason why I found this to be very handy as a teacher is when I would assign a clicker number to a student, that was the only clicker that they were allowed to use. And when I wanted the clickers passed out, rather than having me pass out the clickers, I could just hand someone the class roster with the bag of clickers, and they could pass out the clickers to the students for me, which would save me time and allow me to work on things with the students, or if I had to go monitor the hallway, or just different things like that. The Import button is where you can import a class, such as taking an Excel sheet from Teams and importing your students that way. You can also export a class from CPS if you need to. Usually you don't really need to export it though. You can save a new student to a certain roster. You can also cut a student from a class roster and paste them into a different class roster. You can copy that student and have them in multiple classes in case that situation arises for you.